TLO, what's poppin'? We are on Kick. We are not live. But you can leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK and all around the world today. What's this behind me? This is the live channel. If we go live and you happen to miss it, this is where you can catch the lives. Any highlights. This is the merch. Don't got it on right now, but you know, happy having it. Don't forget we do got the Patreon. We post 5 days per week, Monday through Friday, man. This is where we watch stuff we can't watch on YouTube. The link to all of this is down in the description. Just click the link tree that's in the description. It says link tree, click it, everything will pop up, all my socials and anything of that nature. Why does this keep coming up? Is this what I clicked? That's not what I clicked. You feel me? But anyway, I say all around the world because we're in France today. We're going to go take a look at their gangs and things of that nature. Oh, it is called that. The Cartels of Marseille. Okay.
EST, a special unit created.
Chill. Okay, so this is called the Cartels of Marseille. Drug war contract killings. This is DW Documentaries, man. Hopefully they let me post this. They normally do sometimes. Sometimes they don't, though. But, you know, it is what it is. It'll go on Patreon if it don't. Let's get into it.
Marseille, in the south of France.
That's France?
A city shaken by gang wars. The violence spiked in the summer of 2021 when 15 people were murdered. The city's lucrative drug trade was the most common motive for the violence. Up to 15 million euros are exchanged for narcotics here every month. Gangs fighting for their share in brutal turf.
If that much money is being made in 30 days, of course there's gonna be gang war. YouTube, just remember I don't condone any of this. I'm just giving my commentary. I'm acting as the news right now. I am in America. Freedom of speech, freedom of press.
Wars. The imminent release of several gang leaders from prison in 2021 sent shockwaves through the city's dark side. We were allowed to follow members of the Marseille police, the Anti-Narcotics Office, and the BST, a special unit created to restore order in specific areas. And even...
But he tripped over that gate, almost took his shin off. He hit that metal too hard.
Local drug dealers were willing to show us their world.
One colleague was shot, another killed. That's the risk.
The conflict is claiming more and more lives, including many innocent victims.
Dang, they hit her daughter.
She died for nothing. For nothing.
Y'all bogus.
What's driving this spiral of violence? And can the police stop it?
Hey, honestly, this is my first real in-depth look at French gangs. I know they got them. There's even a GD set in France, I heard. What's up? But yeah, that's what I heard. Things of that nature. So it's cool. I mean, this is enlightening.
Marseille. This port city on the Mediterranean is known for its cultural life.
I'm not gonna lie.
À vivre.
This looks beautiful.
But it's also the murder capital of France and a hotspot for drugs and crime.
beautifully dangerous.
Officers heading out on patrol on the city's north side. Michael and Laurent belong to the Specialized Field Police Brigade, the BST, and are responsible for the city's infamous 14th district. They hope to catch drug dealers red-handed.
This is France? Bro, this is not what they be wanting you to see on them travel brochures. This is the trench. I had no idea it was this trenchy out here.
The two officers are far from welcome here.
There's the lookout. You can often spot him from the roundabout. The shirtless guy, do you see him? He's sitting in front of the first small building.
That's the same as America. If you go to the hood, they got the lookouts on buildings too. If you really go into a hood.
They've just headed out when they get a call and change their plans.
Oh, ça?
We have to go.
That's stupid. I see there's dumb criminals all around the world, man. A baseball cap and an orange vest and you firing shots like you not out here lit up like a highlighter like they...
Where's Lamartine? Isn't that where the game is?
Witnesses have reported a shooting near a stadium during a soccer game.
Shots have apparently been fired at the Martine Stadium in the 15th district. We'll head over there to support.
It's a police officer.
Our colleagues.
Smoke becomes visible as they approach. A car is on fire. Criminals often set fire to their getaway vehicles.
They torched
To wipe any DNA. Can't find it.
their car.
They were quick.
A burning car, shots fired, suspects on the run. All the hallmarks of a revenge killing.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought they was just shooting like randomly, like in the air or something. They was... Okay.
Onlookers have already gathered outside the stadium.
Are we the first ones?
What?
The fire department and ambulances are already on scene, but no other officers.
We really are the first ones. No, it's okay.
The victim is mortally wounded. Relatives show up and tensions flare. The situation could escalate. We turn off our cameras to avoid provocation.
Shots were
Talking about provocation.
apparently fired at spectators during the match. One is dead, and we're waiting to see if there are more.
I wonder why.
Il y a deux victimes, un qui est une victime décédée, l'autre qui est vivante, qui a pris 2 balles au visage.
He's still alive and he got blicked twice in the face? What was that?
Derek, why did you take it?
The area around the stadium was cleared later that night. Time for the forensic experts to get to work. They searched the crime scenes for traces of blood, gunshot residue, and DNA in hopes of...
Wait, I'm confused. This happened hours before and the forensic team is just now coming? They're normally on site immediately. That's weird.
finding clues about the shooter's identity.
In America, at least.
The then director of Marseille's criminal police, Eric Arela, arrives on scene.
She kind of thick, ain't she?
2 people have been shot with firearms.
The police reconstruct the events. 3 armed individuals got out of a sports car at 5 p.m. They approached a man who was leaving the stadium with a friend and shot him several times point blank. A meticulously planned crime.
The method points to a revenge killing, probably with several perpetrators. We're waiting to hear more from forensics.
Not gonna lie, how did they know where he was? His friend that was with him probably backdoored him, unless they hit him too.
It may be related, but it's still too early to say for sure.
The forensic team works until dawn. Michael and Laurent discuss the case the next morning.
Do we know the guy?
Yes, he's known, but
Usually it's simple. It's about debt or revenge. In general, when someone is killed in Marseille, it's never random.
The number of revenge killings had been falling, but police now fear a resurgence.
I mean, nobody losing their life by another man's hand is a good thing, but it said normally the killings here aren't random, they're precise. That's way better than I can say for Chicago, man. They be just on some BS in the rack. They be on some BS. It could be the most random. You could be frolicking down the street, happy as can be, and just somebody pull up on you. It get like that, depending on what neighborhood you was in. The neighborhood I was in, definitely.
Of rival gang wars.
Tensions are running high in the neighborhoods between the gangs. There are different wars that are completely unrelated, and things are shifting. There are lots of armed individuals, lots of weapon seizures. I think this summer is going to be a bit more complicated in terms of settling accounts. Stuff's going to happen.
He turned out to be right. Marseille experienced an unprecedented number of shootings over the following days. Les Hirondelles. On July 5th, 2021, a man was killed with a Kalashnikov in this neighborhood. The next day,
that's an AK.
A 28-year-old was shot while driving his car. On the 24th of July, a 26-year-old man was murdered in a housing estate in front of dozens of witnesses. The reprisals kept mounting. Control in the neighborhoods as well as huge sums were both at stake. We want to see for ourselves how these criminal networks function.
Producers, imagine having...
I'm not gonna lie, this documentary is elite. The cinematography, the whole everything.
Bassens, a housing estate built in the 1960s, lies in the heart of the northern districts.
Bro, this kind of looked like New York a little bit.
Past its prime,
like Brooklyn. I can't really speak on it, but it looked like Brooklyn a little bit.
It's considered a hotbed for drug dealing and gang warfare. Nearly 2,000 people live in the estate's dozen apartment blocks. Over half of the young adults are unemployed. The local youth spend their days dealing and hanging out. They agree.
This in the hood? This in the estate? Got like a frame of a car.
To show us around.
Damn, wait. $25%, okay.
Brahim was born here. This abandoned school was his playground growing up. Asbestos contamination means it's been deserted for 30 years. Baim says he also feels abandoned by the state.
Why not knock it down? Why just... Okay.
These are the stairs. As you can see, they're ruined. They could collapse under a kid. That's not normal. Why did the state abandon it and leave it like this? It makes me angry. You grow up somewhere, walk out your door, and this is what you see. It's annoying.
But desolate buildings aren't this neighborhood's only problem.
Check this out. The price is still on these bags. This one held drugs worth 2,500 euros.
2500 € de stupéfiants dans ce sac.
This housing estate, like many others in Marseille, is now in the hands of a drug gang. Waste containers are placed at checkpoints.
They're to keep police and people with bad intentions out.
What kind of people?
Anyone who's a threat to
What is those gonna do? They're on wheels. They could just roll them out the way.
the neighborhood.
The police, I mean, could.
The police aren't welcome, and rival gangs even less so. The drug trade here is structured like a pyramid. The lookouts are at the bottom, like this 15-year-old high school dropout, who has worked here for 5 months. He tells his bosses who comes and goes.
That's crazy. It's set up like California, like a little bit, but it looked like New York.
We shout aha when the police come.
What does ara mean?
It means police are coming. We shout aha to warn dealers not to sell anymore and to hide their stash until they leave.
Lookouts work in shifts, just like in factories.
10 a.m. to midnight or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's up to you. Then you take your pay and come back the next day.
How much?
What's the pay?
120 euros for a shift, 60 euros for part-time. It depends on the neighborhood.
That ain't bad, right? 120 for 8 hours?
You're full-time?
Yeah, 10 a.m. to midnight.
Hold on now, that's 14 hours. Never mind, that's like below minimum wage.
His co-worker at the other end of the estate isn't much older. The markings on this post are used to identify police cars.
These are the license plate numbers. We also know the models of cars the police drive, or we recognize their faces. Most often it's their faces.
Couldn't they be customers?
Sure, that's why if we're not sure someone's a customer, we ask them to lift their t-shirt, because sometimes the police conduct raids on foot.
He has to do his job well.
That's the risk. It's my job, and if I miss one, I'll get beaten up, stabbed, or owe money.
That's what I'm saying. This is an important job to only be paying somebody 120 for 14 hours. That's not enough. It's a lot of responsibility.
Workers have to pay for their mistakes.
One colleague was shot, another killed. That's the risk.
Ain't no way, brother. I'm going to go get a 9 to 5. Ain't no way. 9 to 5, I mess up, maybe get written up. Here, pop goes the weed.
Is it worth it?
If you're our age, Arab or black, and from the 14th arrondissement, it's this or nothing. Our mothers can't even cover the 300 to 400 euros a month for rent. They
I guess, but, you know, situational, but still.
Can't support us. We have to do it on our own.
The gangs exploit the poverty of the young people here. A warning has been sounded that cops are on their way. The dealer heads inside with a bag full of drugs and cash. The dealer is also at risk. If he's caught, he'll not only be sent to prison, he'll also owe restitution to the gang. Today, he's lucky it was just a normal police patrol. The signal tells the dealer he can head out again. He keeps a small stash of drugs in this mailbox. He replenishes it every 30 minutes. If he's arrested, he can limit his losses.
This is hash, weed, and that's coke. They're 30, 50, and 10-gram pieces.
What do you earn a day?
200-300 euros?
Is 300 worth the risk?
Sure, I have kids, a family, but no other work. What else can I do?
Product of his environment.
I leave each morning and come back at night, like with a real job.
Back to business. Customers are already waiting.
Bro, this look like out west. Out west in Chicago. Some south side too. But out west they still do this. Like pull up, like drive through, the block is hot, come get what you need.
The manager, the gang leader's trusted representative, is never far away. He keeps a watchful eye on his team.
It's simple. You tell them to stand in such and such a place and keep a lookout for police. After that, put the dealer in place and the one who supplies him. Plus whoever cuts the drugs and the one who fetches the product. It's a business. Everyone has a role to play.
An illegal business that he runs with an iron fist. He collects the cash hourly.
From how many hours?
Smart, man, because you can't collect it at the end of the day. This is very business-like, but like, you collect it at the end of the day, that's too much risk. Somebody get jammed, they get jammed with all the money instead of some of the money. They might want to run off with it or something crazy.
Huh? This is just from a few clients, around 100 euros. It goes fast.
Drugs are estimated to bring in up to 20,000 euros a day at this one site alone.
Give me 10. I brought you 50 before, okay?
He manages both the drug trade and the weapons needed to fight off rival gangs.
If all goes well and people do their job properly, normally there's no shooting at all.
You don't need to arm yourselves.
No, though you need security because you never know. Always keep something ready in case of attack. We're just here to defend.
Stay dangerous, is what he's saying.
Defend ourselves, defend our business. We're businessmen.
Can you show me?
Show you what?
Your protection.
No, I can't. You never know.
The dealers in the northern neighborhoods arm themselves to protect their business. But where do they get their weapons?
I'm being honest with you, it sounds like any other hood. You know what I'm saying? This is eerily similar to how they run things in California though, and Chicago. Like, it sounds like any hood. You know what I'm saying?
We worked for several days and finally found a man who calls himself an arms dealer. He agreed to meet with us. We set up a meeting a week later.
Bakeface?
We didn't meet in the northern districts as expected. We met in the city center, in a quiet residential area.
Of course not, never do business where you live, right?
This is his hideout. His bestseller?
AK.
This is a Galil.
Oh, what is that?
It looks like a Kalashnikov, but it's Israeli. A 5.56 caliber like the FAMAS. It's worth 4,000 euros at the moment.
Weapons prices skyrocketed after the murders.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that. It did look like a K for a minute, but then it's too long.
I do anything that brings in money. My name is Shakal.
His code name means jackal. It's also an anagram of Kalash, short for Kalashnikov in French.
On a le chacal. Il est taré,
He advertises his wares on social media: handguns, assault rifles and ammo, illegal imports from Eastern Europe.
I've never asked anyone, what are you going to do with it? Why? If I don't sell it to them, someone else will.
That's really the mindset.
But the weapons he sells serve to control the drug trade in Marseille, to intimidate citizens and kill off would-be competitors.
To defend yourself, even earn respect. Marseille and the Kalashnikov, it's always been a love story. Every problem has a solution.
Drugs are sold at over 150 sites in the city. Police sources say drug trafficking in Marseille is worth about 350 million euros per year. Huge sums of cash.
You know what? And they probably undervaluing it. It's probably twice that in reality.
Some of which flows abroad while the rest supports local businesses, small shops and restaurants or luxury stores in the city centre. More than 5 million euros of criminal assets linked to drug trafficking in Marseille were seized in the first 8 months of 2021 alone. Cocaine has now driven sales to new heights. Demand is growing, especially in Marseille's upscale southern neighborhoods. Dealers will even deliver the drug to customers.
Front door service, he ain't even got to drive.
Allô?
Hey, where are you? In the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. That's good.
In his 20s, Sofiane belongs to this new generation of dealers. He's letting us ride around with him. His workday starts at 3 p.m. with a delivery to a regular customer.
Everything okay? What do you want?
50.
Wait 2 seconds. There you go, brother.
Sofiane has only been a courier for a few months.
That is super hot. Like hot as in like this, you doing too much. Like police can see you at any time. Transactions through the window. Never.
He says he works independently and doesn't belong to any gang. Sofiane takes a pragmatic view of what he does, like so many other dealers.
You don't feel guilty selling drugs to addicts?
No, I don't. I do something good for the client. I amaze them. They see stars with what I give them. It's good stuff. It comes from a factory. After that, it's a supply chain. You know how that works.
So he's saying he get it straight off hot off the presses before it gets cut a million times.
And you're the last link in the chain?
Yeah, the last before their nostrils.
We head for the 7th arrondissement, a chic district near the city centre.
There are lots of rich people here. I don't work in the suburbs.
Your clients have money.
Depending on what he's selling, it's an expensive habit.
Some folks call me regularly, daily. They're very good clients. You need that kind of clientele to succeed. 10 of those and your day's made. You need cash, come what may.
Sofiane is available around the clock, but he has to keep a low profile.
You have to be discreet. I have a small car and wear flip-flops.
Very discreet. All that flashy stuff is going to get eyes turned to put on you.
Even if it's not good. Like I said, it's about making money. I'm doing this for the money, not for fun. I know the risks, I know what they are. But my mother is happy. She doesn't know what I'm doing, but she's happy. She's smiling. When I see my mother with a smile on her face, I couldn't care less what folks are snorting. Honestly.
He can earn up to 2,000 euros on a good night. Soufiane used to sell drugs on housing estates in the northern districts.
Small time.
But he went into business for himself as soon as he could to avoid being drawn into wars between rival gangs.
I don't disrespect anyone or steal from anyone. I don't steal anyone's customers. I have my own. They call me. I don't call anyone. They come to me. Getting even is a different story. To succeed in Marseille today, you have to make people afraid. If you don't succeed. Many people don't understand that. They think it's a game. It's not a game. People die because of it. There's big money behind it.
This big money leads to big feuds. Drug traffickers don't hesitate to use guns to protect their territory. July was bloody enough, but the revenge killings continue into August of 2021.
Another night of horror in Marseille. 3 men have been killed in what were likely revenge murders in the drug scene.
3 killings in a single night. The 22nd of August won't soon be forgotten in Marseille. 2 people were shot at close range on a housing estate. The other was kidnapped in the city centre in front of local residents. This footage shows a man being thrown into the trunk of a car where his captors burned him alive just minutes later.
Yeah, they're trying to send a message with that one.
The ruthlessness of the act shows how far the war has gone. Barricades go up at housing estates in the north of the city for protection and to deter attacks by rival gangs. Mattresses, tires, gas canisters, anything and everything is used to ward off an armed assault. The barriers create an obstacle course for the estate's inhabitants. Some gangs even blocked off whole sections of their neighborhood. Officers from the BS
make it one way in, one way out. That's wild, though. I don't think I ain't never seen this. This is different.
He arrived.
I can understand it, but this is different.
Find dealers have built a virtually impregnable wall, almost a fortress.
They've blocked off the rear entrance to the building. This could be against us, but more likely, it's only to let in folks they want to. This way they can focus on one spot, the car park.
Great effort is put into the barricades. They could be the only thing between life and death.
It won't budge. You can kick it, but you won't get through. Not at all. They did it well. The estates are more and more secure. It's a way for them to protect themselves. Just like in wartime in the Middle Ages, they hid behind walls with arrow slits. It's a bit like that.
Despite the situation, officers try to speak with residents.
That's not gonna happen.
These young people are in position to deal and would be easy targets for rival gangs.
Faites attention à vos enfants, les quartiers sont tendus en ce moment.
Watch out for your kids. Things are tense.
Go get some boxers. You got on tidy whities? Is this... What you doing, bro? I ain't even finna rewind.
There are guys with guns everywhere. Be careful.
C'est vrai que les gens, je pense qu'ils sont loin d'imaginer.
It's true. People can barely imagine what's going on in these neighborhoods. The residents are literally being held hostage in an extreme way now, and that's likely to continue. For how long? I don't know.
Pour combien de temps, je sais pas.
It's 2 ways the residents could be feeling about this, you feel me? Check me out real quick. Residents absolutely could feel trapped. They can't afford to move anywhere else. The council or the government won't move them anywhere else. They don't want to be a part of it. Or these people could be taking care of them. They can be taking care of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Looking out for everybody, which got them all on their side. It could be two ways, man.
The BST officers conduct more raids in the hopes of confiscating illicit weapons.
He's coming back. Don't move. Don't move.
The officers stake out a dealer in an unmarked car with tinted windows.
The buyer waits at the entrance. He'll wait for the dealer to come back and serve him.
Laurent is monitoring a contentious spot for dealers. Several armed groups have tried to seize control here in the past week.
A site like this must make between 15 and 20,000 euros.
Per day?
Per day. So obviously that creates greed and envy.
Would they go far to defend or conquer it?
Yes. 20 bands a day, would you? Put it in a business aspect. If a certain website could bring you, if a certain ad you could put on a certain website could bring you 20K a day, and somebody else had already had their business, like say you put a commercial on my platform, and I only accept one commercial per month or whatever, and it's already accounted for. Do you know how many, and that one commercial generates you 20 bands a day. You would want that slot, no matter what it takes. Now, it wouldn't go as far as KILLING, but it might.
Yes, they're prepared to kill or be killed. It's their life, their business.
20 bands a day.
The vehicle is stifling hot. Laurent observes the dealing from his vantage point, gathering information for future operations. But today, the police won't intervene.
Because we're alone here.
What does that mean?
It means it's better if we're not noticed. It's better.
Or else?
They're either nice to us and let us leave, or they wreck our car.
The number of deaths continued to climb in early September, despite the efforts by the police. A 20-year-old, likely a lookout, was killed in his car.
Think about this, bro. This could have been me easily. My car, I was in a car and it got shot up 8 times, 8 bullet holes in it. But I was playing defense. I had that thing on me. But still,
a 20-year-old
could have very easily been me.
Likely a lookout, was killed in his car. More than 30 shots were fired. He never had a chance.
What they have?
Nearly 15 fatal shootings in less than 3 months. It was one of the bloodiest summers in the city's criminal history. Marseille Prosecutor Dominique Laurence can explain the killings. The city's drug gangs are battling for power.
Il y a des gens qui ont été incarcérés et qui vont prochainement sortir.
There are people who were incarcerated who will be released soon. Because they'll be getting out, they're already positioning themselves to take back some of the market.
So y'all can expect a spike in homicides.
We're witnessing a power struggle on the ground, on the economic terrain.
Sur le terrain économique.
Some of them resemble the big South American drug barons, both in their methods and finances.
Tant dans les méthodes que dans la surface financière.
The prosecutor has watched the gang's methods grow ever more brutal since she began working here a few years ago.
Je pense que c'est des gens, si vous voulez, bon, qui...
I think these are people who have crossed all psychological lines.
Tous les stades, voilà, vous n'êtes plus retenu.
They're no longer held back by anything when it comes to respect for other human beings.
On peut le brûler.
They can cut people up,
C'est ça.
burn them.
On est véritablement dans une logique.
Their state of mind has taken them in a radically different direction.
Vers toute autre chose, quoi.
An out of
Money, power, respect. It's a dangerous drug.
control drug war. The authorities want to capture gang leaders and seize as many weapons as possible. That means targeting the traffickers where they operate, the housing estates. 4:30 a.m. at the Marseille headquarters of the local anti-drug squad.
What are they about to do?
To combat the escalating gang
Oh man, here it comes. I already know.
violence, this unit specialized in fighting drug trafficking is about to launch a large-scale operation. Commissioner Sébastien Lotat, then department head, coordinated the raid.
I knew it. When you see a bunch of officers gathering at 4:30 a.m., oh, a raid's coming. This the only time they do raids, early in the morning.
This morning we'll set up arrest sectors on the estate, one with support from the raid anti-terror unit. I'll be in sector 1.
The officers want to leave a mark on the traffickers dealing on the housing estate.
C'est un des réseaux stup les plus importants de Marseille. On peut chiffrer entre 60 000 et 80 000
This is one of the biggest drug networks in Marseille, with an estimated 60,000 to 80,000 euros of business per day, and there are connections to narco-terrorism and related reprisals. The work of OFAST in Marseille is to identify and convict the heads of these drug rings, particularly this one, to effectively disrupt these networks at the highest level.
Les désorganiser au plus haut du segment.
Today's operation targets 17 potentially armed and dangerous suspects. It took over a year to plan.
Let's go. Raid 1 convoy. Raid 1 convoy. We're setting off.
In what resembled a military maneuver, more than 100 police officers plus the raid unit, the anti-gang brigade and riot police were mobilized. 250 officers total.
Judicial police convoy.
They are trying to sweep through a tower block, so...
Boy, we've caught up to the riot police and will assume position ahead of you.
Their destination, La Castellane, a housing estate in the north of Marseille, a bastion for the drug trade.
Il y a quelques cités où les collègues se font
On a few estates, people throw rocks at cops. La Castellane is one of them. We try to ensure complete safety during tactical operations and not to get attacked ourselves.
des individus qui veulent en découdre.
Head of the JP convoy, we've reached the estate.
Au niveau de la cité.
Go straight ahead, right up to the bus.
5:57 a.m. His team is in position. The operation can begin.
Calling all units, all units. Move in, move in.
Intervention.
The housing estate is completely sealed off in minutes. No one can escape.
Got y'all, buddy. It's over.
Each unit moves silently towards the 17 previously identified targets. Several gang leaders, accountants who look after the cash, and nannies. Ordinary residents who store the drugs in their home.
You know where they got all this intel from? An insider. Somebody snitching.
The search begins.
Open up.
Guys, let's regroup. There's one more place.
Thierry, a specialist for organized drug crime, coordinates several teams.
Okay, let's go. You can position yourselves there. If that's not good, then there.
Things look calm, but Thierry keeps a watchful eye on the apartment windows.
La Castellan's specialty is throwing money or drugs out the window. Police and sniffer dogs would come and folks would chuck stuff out, especially the nannies. The first time we shut down this drug ring, they tossed out close to €1 million. €1 million on your head. That hurts.
7,000 people live on this estate, long a trafficking hotspot. Up to €75,000 worth of narcotics change hands here every day. Chairs and couches serve as lookout posts to provide early warnings about police raids. At the estate sales points, drugs
Well, today all of that failed.
and their prices are openly listed. While entrances are closed off, the gangs constructed walls from solid concrete blocks.
Workers at La Castellan built this wall. They put their heart and soul into it because each time it's knocked down, it's back up again in an hour. No one gets through here. It limits access for law enforcement, but also for emergency personnel.
Meanwhile, the officers carry out searches and arrests and confiscate goods.
They had a bulletproof vest and a walkie-talkie.
Is that illegal?
Target 6 had €4,220.
Lautat and his team tally up the items seized in a mobile control center.
€157,000?
Not including the search.
That's quite a lot. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 calibers, plus €4,220, a jammer and keys. I'm satisfied with these fines and the arrests, but it's not over yet.
Did y'all find any drugs?
Less than an hour into the operation, the officers have already made 13 arrests, and bags of drugs are piling up in the entryways.
Okay, gotcha.
What's that?
Stickers, packaging. Super dry so customers know it's a quality product.
It's advertising for their products. They've got to please customers. They put the stuff in attractive bags with mangas or things like that.
The seized goods are sealed and loaded into unmarked police cars. The entire operation took less than 3 hours. They examined the hall back at Oaf.
And they probably ain't even get a bunt. Like, there's probably way more in that building.
Fast's Marseille headquarters.
Cannabis oil.
The meeting room table can barely hold the massive amount
They got a lot, though.
of drugs and weapons seized.
Tout compris ici, sur tout ce que vous avez là, il y a 173 kilos.
All in all, 173 kilos of cannabis were seized, 5 handguns, a Kalashnikov assault rifle, and €224,000 in cash. It's a very...
I feel like that whole operation, they should have generated more than this. But, you know, in that building, they was probably moving quick. I always say, man, when they do these raids and they do these sweeps, that's just a calculated risk that has to be taken. Like, yeah, give them it, go ahead. Give them this, they think they got to win, while we going around and getting 30 times more in the back door.
Very big blow to a major drug ring in Marseille, effectively all in one go. It's our aim to destabilize this network and its leaders, to catch them with overwhelming evidence to keep them locked up as long as possible. The heads of this drug ring are currently in our custody.
Among the weapons seized, a Kalashnikov, powerful enough to pierce a bulletproof vest.
It's often standard equipment for drug traffickers in Marseille's housing estates to defend their turf or attack other dealing sites.
Where did you find that one?
In a trafficker's vehicle, one of the gang leaders, ready to use with the magazines loaded. For them, it's a symbol of power to have this in their hands.
Eric Arella, then the head of Marseille's criminal police, was pleased. 11 arrests were made and 7 potentially deadly weapons taken out of circulation.
On this estate, we've had people settling scores, some of which are still being resolved. The weapons seized on this day show that it's an estate where drug lords protect and defend their territory. We're trying to make an impact, to get them out of circulation for as long as possible. But given the size of the estate, and because nature hates a vacuum, there's unfortunately no doubt they'll be replaced. Then we'll have to go back in again.
They're definitely gonna get replaced. I be thinking this whole exercise be like, it's not pointless, but it's pointless at the same time, man. Y'all went in there, y'all did all of this, and that. Now a power vacuum is gonna be. There's gonna be a power vacuum, a fight for the top dog now. More bodies will drop. More drugs. They're gonna get smarter.
Thanks to operations like these, in 2021, the Marseille police seized over 200 weapons, including 13 Kalashnikovs. Just 3 were seized during the same period in 2019. The recent victims include not only those suspected of having connections to the drug trade. Innocent people who were in the wrong place at the wrong time were also caught in the crossfire.
As long as there's drugs and money to be made, this stuff will never end, in my opinion.
Secours. Oui, bonjour. Je vous appelle en fait parce qu'il y a eu des coups de détonation là où j'habite.
Des détonations de coups de feu ou de pétards, monsieur?
Non, coups de feu.
Ah, combien il y a eu de détonations?
Au moins 5. Et là, je vais descendre voir parce qu'il y a un véhicule qui bouge plus.
I seen this in a music video, this estate, this one.
Je vais essayer de voir s'il y a quelqu'un en vie ou pas à l'intérieur.
Allez, c'est noté, on va aller voir ça sur place, de toute façon.
Kautar was a bright 17-year-old high school student. On July 8th, 2021, she died from 3 errant shots to the head. Her only mistake, riding in a friend's car alongside a petty drug dealer. He was the target. Shahid Sermi is a lawyer in Marseille who specializes in drug-related crimes. He's defending Kautar's grieving family.
Ça va, madame?
You okay, madame? You're holding up?
Et vous tenez le coup?
I have to, for my mother.
Kautar's mother, Bahija, is still in shock.
I'm dead. It's over. We'll live in sadness, in pain.
The lawyer will represent them in court, as well as offering comfort and support.
J'ai été touché par la douleur de cette.
I was touched by the family's grief, the suffering of the mother who sacrificed everything to get her daughters out of these disadvantaged neighborhoods.
Only for her daughter to hop in a car with a known drug dealer. I wonder if she knew what was going on. For me to say a known drug, like, it's a little bit insensitive, but you know where I'm from, I'm very unsensitized by things like this. So it's like, the questions that come to me is like, did she know that she was hopping in the car with? Like,
And I believe it's
but R.I.P. though. It is sad.
Essential, indispensable to shoulder that pain and to accompany them throughout this
To outlive your child is crazy.
Extremely difficult ordeal.
Extrêmement difficile.
This mother had done everything to protect her daughters and guide them toward a promising future. Kautar that evening just wanted to go out and celebrate her high school graduation.
My daughter doesn't go out at night. She only went out because she had passed her final exams and wanted to celebrate. I was in Morocco, and she called me to ask for permission. She said, "Mum, can I go out?" And I said, "Yes. I'm the one who's responsible because I let her go."
Nah, you're not I mean, I know you're gonna bear that on your chest for the rest, but I don't... What was you supposed to say?
Kautar's mother was so proud of her. The teenager had graduated with distinction and planned to attend the Sorbonne University in Paris that September. To this day, her family is still waiting for Kautar's killer to be arrested. She's just one of a growing number of innocent victims caught in the crossfire of Marseille's drug wars.
That's crazy, man. If you French and you watching this, man, salute, appreciate you. Let me know what you got going on out there. Let me know your comments or the insides or any other videos y'all want me to watch, man. I'm gone.